discuss about the novel Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court is an 1889 novel by American humorist and writer Mark Twain. The book was originally titled A Yankee in King Arthur's Court. Some early editions are titled A Yankee at the Court of King Arthur. In the book, a Yankee engineer from Connecticut named Hank Morgan receives a severe blow to the head and is somehow transported in time and space to England during the reign of King Arthur. After some initial confusion and his capture by one of Arthur's knights, Hank realizes that he is actually in the past and he uses his knowledge to make people believe that he is a powerful magician. He becomes a rival of Merlin, who appears to be little more than a fraud, and gains the trust of King Arthur. Hank attempts to modernize the past in order to make people's lives better. Hank is disgusted by how the barons treat the commoners and tries to implement democratic reforms, but in the end he is unable to prevent the death of Arthur. Hank declares England a republic, but the Catholic Church, growing fearful of his power, issues an interdict against him. Twain wrote the book as a burlesque of romantic notion of cavalry after being inspired by a dream in which he was a knight himself, severely inconvenienced by the weight and cumbersome nature of his armor. It is a satire of feudalism and monarchy that also celebrates uh, homespun ingenuity and democratic values while questioning the for-profit ideals and capitalism and outcome of the Industrial Revolution. At one point in the book, Twain even defends the French Revolution. It is among several works by Twain and his contemporaries that mark the transition from the Gilded Age to the progressive era of socio-economic discourse. It is often cited as a formative example of the fledgling time travel genre. The plot learned so the articles for summary may be too long, very long or excessively detailed. Okay, sorry for that. So the novel is a comedy set in 16th century England and its medieval culture through Hank Morgan's view. He is a 19th century resident of East Hartford, Connecticut, who, after a blow to the head, awakens to find himself inexplicably transported back in the time to early medieval England, where he meets King Arthur himself. Hank, who had an image of that time that had been colored over the years by romantic myth, takes on the task of analyzing the problems and sharing his knowledge from 1300 years in the future to try to modernize, Americanize, and improve the lives of people. Many passages are quoted directly from Sir Thomas Marlowe's Le Morte d'Arthur, a late medieval collection of Arthurian legends that constitutes one of the main sources of the myth of King Arthur and Camelot. The film narrator is a 19th century man who meets Hank Morgan in modern times and begins reading Hank's book in the museum in which they both meet. Later characters in the story retell parts of it in Mallory's original language. A chapter on medieval hermits also draws from the work of William Edward Hart Leakey, introduction of the stranger. That is, the story begins as a first-person narrative in the Warwick Castle, where a man details his recollection of a tale told by him by a interested stranger who is personified as a knight through his simple language and familiarity with ancient armor. After a brief tale of Sir Lancelot and Camelot and his role in saying two giants from the third-person narrative. Take directly from Lee Mordredie's author, the man named Hank Morgan enters, and after being given whiskey by the narrator, he is persuaded to reveal more of his history, described through first-person narrative as a man familiar with the firearms and machinery trade. Hank is a man who had reached the level of superintendent because of his proficiency in firearms manufacturing with 2,000 subordinates. He describes the beginning of his tale by illustrating details of a disagreement with his subordinates during which he sustained a head injury from a crusher caused by a man named Hercules using a crowbar. After passing out from the blow, Hank describes waking up underneath an oak tree, having no idea how he got there. Hank soon encounters the knight Sarky, riding by K challenges him to a joust, which is quickly lost by the unweaponed, unarmored Hank as he scuttles up a tree. K captures Hank and leads him towards Camelot Castle. Upon recognizing that he is time travel to the 6th century, Hank realizes that he is the de facto smartest person on earth, and with his knowledge he should soon be running things. Hank is ridiculed at King Arthur's court for his strange appearance and dress and is sentenced by them, particularly the magician Merlin, to burn at a stake on 21st June. By a stroke of luck, the date of the burning coincides with a historical solar eclipse in 528, of which Hank had learned in his earlier life in prison. He sends the boy home, the Christians Clarence, to inform the king that he will blot out the sun if he is exhausted. Hank believes the current date to the 20 June, however it is actually the 21st when he makes his threat. The day that he eclipse will occur at 12:03 p.m. when the king decides to burn him. The eclipse catches Hank by surprise, however he quickly uses it to his advantage and convinces the people that he caused the eclipse. He makes a bargain with the king, is released, and becomes the second most powerful person in the kingdom. So, um, uh, Hank is given the position of principal minister of the king and is treated by all with the utmost fear and awe. His celebrating being brings him to be known by a new title elected by the people, the boss. However, the proclaims that his only income will be taken as a percentage of any increase in the kingdom's gross national product, which he succeeded in creating for the state as Arthur's chief minister, which King Arthur sees as fear. Although the people fear him and he has his new title, Hank is still seen as somewhat of an equal. The people might grovel to him if he were a knight or some from the nobility, but Hank faces problems for time to time since he refuses to seek to join such ranks. And then the plot is the takeover plot. After being made the boss, Hank learns about medieval practices and superstitions. Having superior knowledge, he is able to outdo the elite sorcerer and miracle working church official. At one point soon after the eclipse, people began gathering, hoping to see Hank perform another miracle. Merlin, jealous of Hank having replaced him both as the knight's principal advisor and as the most powerful sorcerer of the realm, begins spreading rumors that Hank is a fake and cannot supply another miracle. Hank secretly manufactures gunpowder and a lightning rod, plants explosive charges in Merlin's tower, and places the lightning rod at the top and runs a wire to the explosive charges. He then announces that he will soon call down fire from heaven and destroy Merlin's tower, challenging Merlin to use his sorcery to prevent it. Of course, Merlin's incantations fail utterly to prevent lightnings from striking the rod, triggering the explosion charges and leaving the tower, further diminish Merlin's reputation. Hank Morgan is in his position as King Minister uses his authority and his modern knowledge to industrialize the country behind the back of the rest of the ruling class. His assistant is Clarence, a young boy he meets at court, whom he educates and gradually lets in on most of his secrets and eventually come to rely on heavily. Hung sets up secret school which teach modern ideas and modern English, thereby removing the new generation from medieval concepts and secretly constructs hidden factories which produce modern tools and weapons. He carefully selects the individuals he allows to enter his factory and school, seeking to select only the most promising and latest introductory in medieval ideas, favoring selection of the young and malleable whenever possible. As Han gradually adjusts to his new situation, he begins to attend medieval tournaments. A misunderstanding causes her Sagra Mori to challenge Han to a duel to the death. The combat will take place with Sagra Mori returns from his quest for the Holy Grail. Han accepts and spent the next few years building up 19th century infrastructure behind the nobility's back. He then undertakes an adventure with a wandering girl named the Demoiselle Elisandi alla Cartiloisi, nicknamed Sandy by Hung, is sought order to save her royal mistress being held captive by ogres. On the way, Hung struggles with the inconvenience of plate armor and encounters Morgan Le Fay, the princess of ogres and castles are all revealed to be actually pigs owned by present swineherd, but to Sandy they still appear to as reality. So the story is going so like that. I share the screen because if I read the all over, the the story is too much long. So that's all. Please, sorry for the interruption. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for watching.